My name is Barry, and I am the fastest man alive.
Listen, there's a war. A terrible war.
You have failed this city.
Hey, everybody. Welcome once again to the Fandom Zone podcast. As always, I'm Charles Skaggs, and with me, as always, is the ever loving, ever awesome, ever incredible Karen Lindsay.
Now, see, how am I supposed to live up to that?
Uh, who, who, who I might add is taunting me with her copy of Avengers number 57,
That's right.
the first appearance of the Vision.
That's right. And probably what? Very good?
Oh,
Very good?
oh,
Yeah. It's
want.
solid black on the
Yeah,
background.
with that cool John Buscema cover.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Yes.
right.
Behold
You like
it.
it?
Behold the Vision.
Got it for like,
Ah,
I don't know, $89.
nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just for that, I should pull out my X-Men 94 and taunt you.
Yeah, but I also taunted you with
Kiss
my husband's
Classics.
Kiss Classics comic book.
Hey,
I showed you that first, and then I flipped it and
yes.
showed you the Avengers comic book.
You are sneaky.
That's
You
right.
are a sneaky person.
Yeah, we're trying to make each other laugh during the opening song, and
And
it was my turn this time.
it worked pretty good.
So, well, thank you.
Yeah, that was
I'm
well
glad.
well played.
Thank you.
Okay, everybody. Warning right up front. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about this week because, oh my God,
Oh my God.
I'm like, oh my God, there's like 6 shows and they're like jam packed with stuff.
There is so much stuff we got to talk about this week. So, oh my God.
Yeah, totally.
That's not my real Valley Girl voice. You know, I'm from California, so.
No, I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
From Cali?
Yes, I'm from the Monterey Bay area.
Oh, very,
Yeah.
very nice.
Very nice.
Very nice.
That is why I know the Hollister store is full of crap.
Oh,
Because I'm near Hollister, and
got it.
trust me, it's a dust town.
Ugh.
It is nothing like
Okay.
the store Hollister.
See, I've been to San Diego and I've been to Los Angeles. So that's my extent
Yeah.
of.
You haven't been to California.
I've been to Beverly Hills, but
Again.
yeah, I know. But at least I can say I've been the state.
Go to San Francisco. That's more like California.
I would like to go to San Francisco one day.
Yeah,
Lord.
I love San Francisco.
Okay.
Anyway,
So yeah, lots of stuff, and here we are already like digressing. That's not a good omen, is it? All right. So first up in our Wheel of Wonders,
That's it.
Gotham,
Yes,
episode 21, The Anvil or the Hammer.
that's right.
Written by Jordan Harper and directed by Paul Edwards. And more with the ogre, as played by Milo Ventimiglia.
The last ogre.
Yeah, the last ogre. Thank God.
Yeah.
And there was much rejoicing. Hooray, hooray. There's a Python reference for you.
Monty Python.
Yeah. One of my favorites, actually. I love that reference.
Me too. Yeah.
Okay, so we open with the ogre and Barbara having breakfast, as you do.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, you may.
Do you really think he's a good bed partner? Because it seems like all of his girls are like, okay, I gotta go.
Yeah.
Like immediately the next morning. They don't even want breakfast. They don't want to stay and cuddle. They're ready to hit the door.
Well, I have to wonder is like, why didn't Barbara just sneak out in the
Right.
middle of the night
Right.
while he's sleeping? Presumably he sleeps at some point.
I would assume so.
He doesn't have her locked up and tied up.
No.
Unless he does while he
Well, yeah, but
sleeps.
the door is locked.
The door's.
Remember, she tries to get out earlier, and the door
Right.
is like
Are there no windows? Could you?
barred. I don't know, but he can't be like a Lothario because none of
Yeah.
the girls we've seen are like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I'm in love with you. I want to stay." None of them want to stay. So,
Peter Petrelli just doesn't have it going on.
no,
Not since the days he was Jess on Gilmore
he
Girls.
doesn't live up to his first name,
Yep.
as it were.
Ba-da-bum.
Yeah, sorry.
That's all right. Um, so yeah, they're just having the breakfast, and the ogre just casually reveals that, oh yeah, by the way, I was going to kill you, but
Yeah.
uh, but you're the woman I've been looking for.
Yeah, he breaks his pattern with her.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of doing the same thing he did with the flashback girl
Right.
from the first ogre episode, we see him say, well, I think he was going to break the mold anyway
Mm-hmm.
with her. He was just going to kill her because she was attached to Gordon.
Yeah.
But instead, she threw him off with her attitude and her sassiness. And he decides that, and I'm thinking he decides he's going to do his same game with her. But now I think he's going to flip things up with her, even. Like he's going to make her almost an equal partner, but not quite.
Right.
Because he doesn't even do the I'm going to put you in the 50s housewife thing. He shows her all the pictures of the
Yeah.
other girls.
And that at that point though,
Yeah, that's where she
that's
freaks
where
out.
she freaks. But in true Barbara fashion, it's nothing you can respect because she looks at the pictures of his past victims, and what does she do? She doesn't just like go, that's interesting, or clocks him over the head or with something. No. What does she do? She
Okay,
she
she
faints.
passes out. However, do you think he gives her a glass of water before that? And
So
I think he might have drugged her.
I don't know, because I think she just was like, oh, I'm a helpless girl, pass out.
Yeah, but she was acting funny for the rest of the episode and not the weird Barbara funny. She was acting like she was in a trance.
I think she just checked out.
Okay.
I think she just realized the horror of her situation, passed out, woke up, and was just in this complete dissociative state.
Okay.
That's my theory.
Okay.
I mean, I could be
See,
proven wrong, so I don't want to say absolute on that
I
one.
can see both ways, but I think it's weird that he would give her that glass of water and then she passed out.
Right.
I mean, they made a big deal about him giving her a glass of water.
But we didn't see him put anything in the water.
No, but
So I know, but we don't know.
no,
So
I don't.
speaking from myself in my own, this is just my own opinion here. I think that she you had male writers writing a girl as a helpless girl, and she's like, oh, the vapors, and
Yeah,
passes out.
and passes out, and
Yeah.
someone puts the
And
smelling salts under her nose.
and those of us here in the 21st century are just shaking our heads going, really?
Yeah,
Really?
seriously, Barbara,
Yeah.
you're the
So
lamest.
pretty much.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay,
So
I could
meanwhile,
see I could see both ways.
yeah, I totally agree. So I will make allowances. It could go either way. Um, Meanwhile, our everybody's favorite budding supervillain, Edward Nigma,
Mr.
uh,
Giggly,
yeah, brings a bag full of butchered body parts. He brings
that's
him.
quite an alliteration of you.
Thank you. I thought it was a.
Brings a bag full of
I thought it was
butchered body parts.
a bountiful bounty, or no, a bountiful basket of beloved bag of body parts. I don't know.
Very
I'm just
nice.
winging that. But where does he bring them into? He brings them back to the GCPD, which is like,
Why not?
dude, you don't. I mean, what if like
You don't poop where
yeah,
you
pretty
eat.
much. Yeah, pretty much. This is where you work.
I like
It's like
how he brings them in a big
right.
trunk.
It's
Like no one's gonna
Foot Locker.
question
It's like
that. You bring in your
I'm
Foot
just
Locker to
walking
work?
in with this bag of body or trunk full of body parts. La 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 la. And oh, got my thermos, got my body parts. I'm good. Hi, everybody. Uh,
A
yeah.
trunk.
And no, I guess he's banking that nobody pays attention to him, so he could just walk right in. It's just
That is
Edward
kinda
being
true.
Edward, weird, quirky, weird. So he brings it back to the GCPD's forensics room so that he can disintegrate, get rid of the evidence with acid, which, okay,
No body, no crime. No body, no
nice.
crime.
I mean, even
Yeah,
though he
thank
could
you.
have just brought the acid wherever he had the parts,
Swear,
got
I
rid of
know.
it there in the bathtub, or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Um, but Kristen Kringle, looking for her boyfriend, uh, that
Well, she found him.
abused her, but she's still looking for him. She sees body parts there, goes, that's interesting. And
Gross.
but
That's what
Nigma's
she
like,
says.
no, 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 no. These body parts are not your ex-boyfriend, who I just killed.
These aren't
Yeah,
the boyfriends
exactly.
you're
He does the
looking for.
Jedi. He's the Riddler mind trick. These are not the body parts you're looking for. Yeah,
That's
very
right.
nice.
Oh, well, I don't know what happened to him. Maybe he'll write you
Yeah,
a note
yeah.
or something.
That you will probably
Shifty eyes.
exactly shifty eyes. Looks doot doot doot.
Shifty eyes, shifty eyes.
Very nice.
That's right.
So yeah, he totally lies, and it's pretty unconvincing to anyone normal anyway.
Anyone
Yeah,
except
just
her.
right over her head.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, back with the ogre. The ogre is talking to Barbara about the first woman he killed, and we covered that. Never mind. I just realized that we covered the fainting part. My
It's
bad.
okay.
See, that's what happens. I had a notes fail. Okay, Bruce. Yeah, let's talk about Bruce. Bruce. Yeah, exactly. Um, Bruce follows up with that whole getting Sid's key from last week, and
And
yeah,
goes
he
to
goes to Wayne
visit Sid.
Enterprises, sneaks in Sid's office to get
He goes on the tour.
right.
Do they not
Yeah,
recognize
it's
who
like,
he
oh,
is?
by the way, I was the only person I was the little kid that was like speaking to the entire board. No, I'm only
Right.
the
But
son of the founder.
isn't he
Yeah, exactly.
famous
Pretty
in
much.
Gotham?
He
I
should
mean,
be.
so you would think if he joined a tour, they would be like, "Aren't you Bruce Wayne?"
He should be like he's like Richie Rich. Everybody should know who he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he does like that quintessential 12-year-old boy thing and he pulls the fire alarm.
Well, if it's there, you got to pull it. That's what you
I
do.
know.
Yep.
That's what every
Yep.
12-year-old
Yeah,
boy
pretty
says,
much.
right?
Oh, phrasing.
So yeah, he goes into Sid
Yep.
Bunderslaw's office. And
Sid's
Sid,
already like there going, "Hi, what's up, buddy?
yeah.
What's up,
Oh,
buddy?"
hi. Your little friend isn't as crafty as she
Yeah, I
thought
was
she
totally
was.
waiting for you, dude.
I felt
Yep.
that whole thing.
But here, have some cookies.
Oh,
I
what
don't
was
know.
that
He's
about?
really into giving and really insisted on giving Bruce those cookies. They're like this,
I know,
like
what
this
was that
mattered
about?
big time. It's like you better eat these cookies. You better take a cookie. You want a cookie. I know you want a cookie.
Right. I was expecting to catch a predator to come
Yeah, like,
out of
hi,
the woodwork,
I'm Chris Hansen from Dateline
Right.
NBC. Why don't we step into the kitchen and have a little sit down?
Right.
So tell me why you wanted to offer Bruce a cookie.
Why did you give him those
What was
cookies?
so
Yes,
important about
exactly.
this?
And by the way, did you actually feel that girl stick her hand into your pocket? And why did you not
Oh,
stop her?
okay.
Yeah,
Yikes.
and then Sid makes a big point of, trying to quash his view of his father and
Mhm.
grandfather. And I think he has two goals in mind. Number one, he's trying to kind of taint the picture he has of his father and grandfather. And in doing so, that injects that little bit of cynicism
Mhm.
into Bruce so that it will cloud everything moving forward so that they can mold him into the man they want
Right,
him to
or at
be.
least get him out of the
And
way so he's not like okay, this is the
exactly.
way it is. I can't create a defeatist attitude maybe. Yeah.
Right, right. And then the second thing would be to, make him hate everything about Wayne Industries so that he'll just drop looking
Right.
into everything. So this way it gets them off his back and it also makes it so perhaps they can mold him into this figurehead. If he is going to stay, they can make him into this patsy like they did his dad
Yeah.
or his granddad. And then the best part besides the Riddler of
Mhm.
this episode is what happens at the end of the
Yes.
cookie giving
Be-
is
Right.
Lucius.
Yeah, we get our first episode, our introduction to Chris Chalk as Lucius Fox.
Yeah. I
And
can't wait
and
until next season when he's
now
a bigger
if
part.
he essentially like enters the room, his whole sole purpose is to escort Bruce out of the building. But
Right.
here's the twist, though. It's like he escorts Bruce in the elevator and stands in the doorway where the camera won't pick him up, supposedly, and he knows this because Lucius installed the cameras.
Right. He's the R&D
Exactly.
kind of guy, the
Yep.
techie guy.
So he tells Bruce essentially like, okay, good luck because I'm actually rooting for you and your father. Don't believe all that crap about your father.
Right. Well, he tells him, don't react. I'm going to tell you something. But, there's cameras everywhere. There's ears everywhere. But I'm going to tell you that it's not the whole story.
Right.
And I guess he's implying that maybe his dad and his grandfather played along, but they actually did stuff behind the scenes. And that's also setting up a 2-layer thing where he might become the head of the company and play along, but he also will learn that he can be Batman behind the scenes and use his company.
Nice.
See, 2 layers.
I see what you did
And
there.
use his
Yeah, very
company
nice.
to his R&D thing to develop all these bat tool things to
a public persona and a private persona. Yeah, I see.
right.
Well observed. But the important thing is, though, Bruce feels like he actually has something of a possible ally inside Wayne Enterprises. And that's very important.
Right. And this early in the game, we have his Batcave group. We have Bruce, Alfred, and Lucius.
And Gordon.
Which is
Gordon.
great. Right. Does Gordon know where his Batcave is in most of the canon?
No,
or just
no, he doesn't.
a little?
I mean,
yeah.
Gordon's whole thing is he has to publicly deny knowing who Batman is, because otherwise he would have to okay, you're a vigilante. I need to arrest you. So so publicly I have to disassociate myself, but privately I kind of know that you're Batman.
So he's on his team, but he's not part of the
he's basically
inner
like, I'm not
circle.
an idiot. I've figured out who you are, but
right. I know you're Bruce Wayne.
But we're not going to talk about it. We're going to act like it doesn't exist.
Right. Anyone who doesn't know it's Bruce Wayne is a moron. But
it's like, okay, who's the biggest millionaire in town, and where does Batman get all these gadgets? Now DC Comics not too long ago did try to explain some of that away by Grant Morrison, the writer, introduced the concept of Batman Incorporated, and it had Bruce publicly fund Batman's activities. And he said Bruce copped to funding Batman, even though he didn't cop to being Batman. So
he said he wants to, straighten up Gotham. So he found this guy who's gonna. It's essentially like Batman Beyond.
Yes.
Where he gets the younger Batman, but they do it so that it looks like they're the same age.
Exactly. So we have Maroni. Meanwhile, this
Moroni.
It's Maroni. Okay.
No, I know. I'm just making a joke.
Humor.
Yeah.
He goes to that. Maroni goes to that bar where he's supposed to get all killed. Yeah, the Large Marge's bar, right?
Okay, this was brilliant. I did not see this coming.
What a twist!
Okay, now I said this on last week's podcast, right? Where I thought that the Penguin was up to something.
Because he's always up to something, right?
Because of Connor. That I couldn't figure out why he would hire Connor to do this when I just knew he wanted to kill Maroni himself.
Right, that's what he said, because he publicly said, I want to kill Maroni.
Right. So I couldn't figure out why he would do this.
Now it all comes together.
It's all clear, right? And I was right to be suspicious, I guess, because he doesn't just want to kill Maroni. He wants to dismantle both families.
Set them on each other. So what I think what his master plan is, okay, Maroni's guys fight Falcone's guys, and whoever's left, Penguin will get his guys come in, swoop in, and take over, which is the way you got to do it.
Yep.
Have
Brilliant.
them take out each other, and then you swoop in and get the rest.
See, and he was starting to look really like he didn't
Yeah.
have a plan. And this was
But
just
Oswald's got the plan.
amazing. I know. I didn't see it coming. I didn't.
Yeah.
And that was I suspected something. As you guys knew from me talking
She
about it
called
last week. Well, I didn't call this. I will cop to that. I
But you
didn't
called
call
something.
this. But I knew it was fishy.
The Karen
It was
sense was
fishy.
tingling.
Tingly.
Yeah.
I was very tingly. Yes.
So yeah.
So yeah, he sets it
Yeah.
up so that both sides are fighting against each other. It was brilliant. And he gets Connor killed so that no one can put the
Pretty
finger
much,
on him.
because this is all part of the plan. Yeah.
Right.
It was
It was
great.
great.
Bullock, meanwhile, during their little investigation of the week, goes to the Foxglove S&M Club.
Okay.
Which okay,
This was
this is on
great.
Fox at 8:00, and we've got an
I
S&M
know.
club, which is just
I know.
okay. I'm on
BDSM, by the
BDSM,
way.
but
Yeah.
for just casual phrasing, S&M club. Okay.
I know.
Yes.
But it is
Yes.
BDSM because there
Right.
was B&D, definitely.
And there was a little A in there too.
Yes. There was a lot of different things.
So yeah, he goes there, watch, and ends up like trying to get some information, but then he sees this stage act involving a pig.
A chainsaw, apparently.
No, of course, we didn't get to see the actual act.
Thank goodness.
Probably a good thing.
Because he's like,
Yeah,
oh,
because you
hell
would have had
no.
like PETA and all those groups all mad. So,
No,
but
but
here's the
please. Again,
right,
it's 8
right.
o'clock.
But here's the interesting part is that Bullock, instead of going, "Oh, that's interesting," he actually is disgusted and calls the police in to arrest
Right.
everybody.
So it's even bad enough
Yeah.
that Bullock
Well,
can't
but
handle
see,
it.
though, the way I see though that scene, how far has Bullock come since the pilot? When he was
Yeah.
jaded cop, like everything's corrupt, you just got to play along, keep your head down.
Or how
Right.
bad was that?
Or this point, but I think, whether Bullock realizes it or not, Gordon's kind of gotten into his head a little bit and kind of
Yeah.
awoken the cop that probably Bullock wanted to be originally.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a pretty,
I'm
it was
I'm
a
joking,
freaky,
but I know
fun
that.
scene, but
Yeah.
it's kind of important.
I just like that. Oh,
Yeah.
hell no.
So I just thought that was interesting. Yeah.
GCPD.
Yeah,
Pick
we're
up the
gonna.
little
All
badge.
right,
and-
we're gonna go downtown. Yeah.
Yeah. I also liked that there was a bit of a dichotomy there too, where they pull in the miscreant and Gordon tells Bullock, hey, I'm gonna break some rules interrogating him. And Bullock goes off and says, I gotta go get something to eat. So Gordon is going against his archetype, and Bullock goes against his archetype in this episode. So there's a bit
Character
of
reversal. Yeah.
a switch up, yeah,
Well, that's
in
good
this
though.
episode, which
Yeah.
is interesting.
Back to Bart.
So,
Oh, go ahead.
and then they talk to the hooker
Yeah.
chickie. That's after the BDSM club, right? And she's got that scar.
Yeah.
So I guess she got released by the
Yeah,
ogre.
she somehow escaped. Not quite sure how.
Yeah.
Considering.
Well, she says he let her go.
Maybe she was like his first or early on before he started killing.
Yeah.
And just, was experimenting. I don't know.
Yeah, or he had his eye on someone else
Something.
or
He got
something.
distracted. I don't know.
Right.
It's like,
got distracted. Squirrel. Yeah.
But anyway.
So something happened and he let her go, and she leads him to the ogre's apartment.
They go to the apartment there. But Barbara, meanwhile, though, ends up. Oh, I'm sorry. Now, what happened before Barbara takes him to her parents' house?
Oh, well, he's got her
Right.
strung up, and we see a lot of her armpits.
The Gordon and Bullock find all the little like bondage stuff. The dungeon.
Well, just before that, there's a tiny little scene where the ogre and Barbara are talking in his little dungeon area, and he wants to prove himself to her, so he keeps asking her, what can I do to prove myself to her? Who can I kill for you? And we think she's going to say Gordon, but instead...
She whispers into his ear.
Right, and they go off. And then the hooker leads Gordon and Bullock to his apartment. And when they get there, it's empty. And the phone rings, bring, bring. And it's the ogre.
Ogre calling.
Thank you. Ogre calling. And the ogre says, hey, you're too late. I got her. Bye now.
Yep.
Blink. And he hangs up.
Yep.
And then
I love this.
thank
Love
you,
the
my
sound
sound
effects.
Yep. Bling bling.
Click click.
And then ogre calling. And then they trace the phone. I guess they ping it or something, and it's upstate. And of course, since Gordon and Barbara dated, he knows that's where she's from. And we met her parents in an earlier episode, and they kind of turned her out on the street in a very passive-aggressive
Barbara's
way.
parents, which kind of explains why Barbara's kind of a jerk, is that her parents are jerks. Big time.
Right. In that Richie Rich sort of...
oh, you didn't amount to what we wanted for you or whatever. You're a disappointment. Exactly. So...
Yes. So you can stay, but
so what happens is...
really don't want you to.
Barbara leads the ogre to her parents' house and kind of stands back as like the ogre kills her parents right in front
Massacres
of her. Barbara kind of checks out a little bit.
Yep. Well, we're assuming. Yeah.
Unless she's just putting on an act that she checked out.
Whatever's going on. She obviously doesn't care.
And so Gordon and Bullock show up. The ogre and Gordon get into a fight. The ogre puts Barbara in kind of a headlock and puts a knife up to her throat and is like, okay, I'm going to kill her if you don't back off. But what happens is that the ogre's so focused on Gordon, he forgets about Bullock.
Who he pushed down the stairs.
Bullock's there, sneaks up from behind. Pachoo!
Well, wait. See, everyone makes that mistake. That is not what happened.
What?
Bullock distracted him. He turns and Jim shoots him in the head.
I thought Bullock shot him in the head.
Everyone thinks that. That is
I'm
not
pretty sure
happened.
Bullock shot him in the head. But from the back, because he shot him from behind, the bullet went through his forehead, out the front.
It's not what happened.
Yes.
Jim shot him.
I contest that one.
Bullock distracts him. Jim shoots him.
I contest that, but okay. Maybe you're right, but I don't remember it.
I think that's what happened. I'll go back and look.
We'll go to the tape.
We'll put it on Facebook.
Who shot the ogre?
Yeah. I think that's what happened, but I'll go back and check. I'll cop
Maggie
to
Simpson
it.
did it.
Okay. Simpsons did it.
Yeah, exactly.
So however it happened.
Because I think he was looking at Gordon and he had the night, thinking that Gordon was going to shoot him, but then Harvey comes back from behind and then Bullock shoots him.
Bullock turns. Bullock distracts him and he turns.
I don't know.
Anyway, I think it's poetic because the hooker says to Jim directly, if you catch him, kill him. And Jim says back, I will. See, and that's why I think that happened. Yeah. But anyway, as he's going down, the knife.
Yep. But she kind of just cuts her. It doesn't kill her. It just kind of gives her a little scar on the neck.
Nope. It just gives her a little scar like this.
Nice. Okay, so the last thing we get out of this episode is we see a scene where Falcone gets a box. It's like, don't look in the box, Falcone. Don't look in the box. If you've 7.
Yeah. Well, it's not quite the last thing, but there's that, and then war starts.
Yeah, because Maroni's men make their move, and they start attacking various fronts of Falcone's operations across Gotham. Like, there's a gang.
It was a nice little Goodfellas scene.
Gotham gets plunged into a gang war officially, and the cops are like, Captain Essen is like, okay, everybody, guess what? We're in a gang war, so have fun.
Yep, batten down the hatches, everyone. I like the scenes where it's kind of like in slow-mo and people are like piling out of the back of vans and stuff. It's very good. But then, we got the scene also where Ed sends the note to Kristen. And, hey, he's going to send a note to you. Shifty eyes.
Like, okay, I decided that I'm going to go away.
Yeah, so have fun. Bye
you
now.
will never see me again.
Right. And of course, he he's laughing maniacally as she leaves, and he looks so different with his hair slicked back, and he's all crazy looking, and
got the crazy
as he
eyes.
right as he puts a copy of the letter in a file folder, it says Nigma
Yes,
down the
yeah,
side in the
because Edward being
reverse.
Edward. Yes, you're right. That was a good point. That because the Riddler has this little hang up where he has to uh, kind of cop to his crimes.
Yep.
And so he basically has to add his little signature in. And here we get that first introduction of that, where the letter, if you take the first letter in each sentence as
Down
you
the
go down the
left-hand
left
side.
hand margin, it spells
Yep.
out Enigma. So he
Yep.
signs the letter without anybody realizing it.
Yep. And he goes,
Uh, you didn't figure it out,
and
ha
he's
ha
all crazy.
ha. Yes. Okay,
Yeah.
so what did you give this episode?
I gave it 9 futzed with firing pins.
That's good. I gave this
Mhm.
one 8.5 out of 10 body parts dipped in acid.
Very nice. And really, most of that is just based on the fact that we got some badass character
Right.
development. We get introduced to Lucius. We get really the origin of the Riddler in this episode. We get that great twist of, Oswald setting up this whole gang war. It's just amazing. I love it. And Barbara, Barbara has become interesting.
Kind of.
Kind of.
Now I'm curious to see what happens to Barbara now. Now that,
Yeah.
she's kind of pretty much helped get her parents killed.
Right. Now, the actress who plays her, I feel
Yes.
bad because no one likes
Right.
Barbara, but I'm sure the actress
Yeah, I have nothing against the actress whatsoever. It's the
No,
poorly written character.
right. Now, Morena Baccarin, on the other hand, her character's written slightly
Right.
better.
Could be doing
I think
more.
yes, and I think most of why we like her character is because of Morena Baccarin.
Well, I also think that, you don't have the whole thing with Leslie isn't going around cheating on Gordon and
Well, yeah,
drinking
but
and doing all kinds of stupid stuff, drugs.
that's probably only because she's only been in a couple episodes and she hasn't done
Yeah, but
very
maybe she's
much.
just a nicer person than Barbara.
Sure,
Barbara,
but they haven't mishandled her because they haven't had a lot to mishandle.
that's
And she's a great actress.
right.
So, um, if they were to go against canon and keep Leslie and have her name her children after
Right.
Barbara
As
and
we
Jim,
suggested last week.
I'd be cool with that. You would
Yeah.
too, right? If they had to put Barbara in a mental
Right.
institution or
See, that's
kill
what
her
I think.
off
I
or
think
something.
Barbara could end up in Arkham Asylum.
Yeah, I think so
So
too.
we'll see.
Yeah.
All
So
right, moving on.
the Flash.
The Flash.
Ah,
King of the Impossible.
King of the Impossible.
Dun,
He'll save every
Yep.
one of us.
The Trap, episode
Just
20,
a man.
written by Allison Shapker and Brooke Eichmeyer, directed by Steve Schill.
Yep. It's a
It's a
trap.
trap. It's a trap. Thank you.
It's
Thank
a
you, Akbar
trap.
Akbar. It's a
You're
trap.
welcome.
Um,
It's a trap.
all right, we start off kind of where we left off last week with Barry, Cisco, and Caitlin in the time vault, the Braille vault,
In the Braille vault.
Because let's face it, it looks like Braille. I keep expecting Daredevil come in and start reading going, oh, okay, so by the way, the Reverse Flash is Harrison Wells. He's done all this stuff. Spoilers.
Okay,
Yeah.
so in 2
Yeah.
years, this is gonna
Yep.
happen, and Caitlin is oh wow, wow,
Yeah.
Iris.
Yep. So, but there's a lot of stuff.
Who's Wally?
Nice. But we do get this scene's kind of pretty important because those three they learn about Wells, that he came back to kill Barry. Didn't intend to kill Barry's mom. He only killed her because he was frustrated because Barry got away. He got away.
Right?
He got away.
And he wouldn't have gotten
wasn't-
away if it wasn't for you meddling
Yeah,
kids.
you meddling Star Labs employees. No.
Yeah.
They see the futuristic holographic newspaper from 2024 using the Tony Stark technology, apparently. Stark Industries tech.
Again, you're mixing up
I
your
know,
comic books.
that's creative license.
Is it?
I'm a writer. It's creative license.
Okay.
I'm a writer. I can do what I want.
I can do what I want. Okay.
Whatever. I do what I want.
Let me see if I can summarize. Okay. They go into the room, they see the paper. It's the weird.
Yes.
It's got weird
Yep.
perspective
Yep.
too.
It's all like
It's like big on
like
the top and small
Star
on the
Wars
bottom.
opening titles.
Yes,
Where it's,
exactly. It looks
you know,
just like that.
dun, dun, dun,
Dun,
dun, dun, dun.
dun, dun, dun,
Yep.
dun, 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 dun,
It,
dun, dun, dun,
the
dun,
rebellion is
dun, dun.
faced with the dark times of the Empire. Blah, blah, blah.
A long time ago.
Yeah.
And it got- Okay, so there's that, and then there's they also are talking, and then a chick comes on and starts talking to them, and they're like, "Oh my god, it's
Right.
Hal!" And
But
then
it's like, hey,
Hal,
it's Leslie from Gotham. Yeah. Well, the actress who does the voice of Gideon, of course, is Marina Baccarin, who we just talked about on Gotham. So,
that's
spoilers.
right.
It's not really a
Yeah,
secret. Okay.
I know. So she does the voice, yes. So the voice comes on and starts talking, and she gives them all this information, and they can't figure out why she's
Yeah.
talking to them. And so she finally says to them that Harrison Wells killed his mother
He was
because
frustrated because Barry got away.
he was frustrated because
Right.
Barry got away. And then Barry asks her a bunch of
Right.
questions. And then he says, "Well, why would you do this? Why would you tell Harrison not, yes, I'm making the
The
talking
talking.
hand gesture.
This
Why? I don't know why I'm
Gideon
doing
played
it.
by Karen's talking hand.
Yeah. Why would you why would you why would you do what I ask you to do? Well, because you created me, Barry. Oh, all right. And then, they're gonna like alter her programming or whatever,
Well, no,
and they
they
look
ask
at
her
it.
to like say, "Don't say anything to Wells."
Right. Yeah, but first they're like, "Well, can we see your memory
Right.
cortex or whatever?" And she shows it to them, and they're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
hell no. I can't
Yeah.
do anything with
That's
that. It looks like some
yeah.
weird
It's a little out of their
keeping my
league.
hands off." Right? So then, don't say anything. Okay, sure, no problem. Then they leave, and just in time for Harrison Wells to come down and put
No,
his
no, no,
hand
no.
on the
But
door
before that,
and
though, before
yeah.
that, Caitlin points out a very important byline on that newspaper.
Oh yes,
It's West
Iris.
Allen. That's her
That's right. And of
her
course
married name.
Barry's like, "Oh,
And he's like,
what?"
"Yay, we get married!"
Nipple down. Okay.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, he notices that. And that
Wing.
actually showing sploosh. So
We
yeah,
just
that's
mixed
actually
Wayne's World with Archer. I just want to point that out.
I know. I know, that's
It just
brilliant,
flowed
right?
so well.
It did. And that is actually it ties into another part of this episode, which is
Okay.
interesting too. So they go out, Harrison
Oh,
goes in.
I
And
forgot.
Harrison
They also uh, f- uh, they deduce that Wells caused the particle accelerator to explode.
right, because he needed to make
Exactly.
Barry. Right. So then they go out and they have a
Mm-hmm.
meeting at the house with
Yep.
Joe and Eddie.
Yep.
And they say, "Why on earth would you go in there?" And Barry tells them that, "Oh yeah, time travel is possible, definitely, because I was at the
Yep.
house, which Joe already knows, and Cisco, because they've checked the house and they found his blood there,
Right.
right, or
Yep.
whatever." And then he goes, "Oh yeah, and I forgot to tell you also, there's this other thing where I changed time because of this
Yeah.
other thing.
You
Sorry about that."
you didn't notice it. It's okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my bad. And Cisco goes, "Hey, about that, I kind of remember that."
So yeah, Barry suggests that Cisco's dreams are like the alternate reality. Yeah.
Right. Which
Yeah.
we know is true. And then they decide they're going to make these
Yeah.
glasses that will help his
Mhm.
dreams become
Right.
lucid.
The vibe
And
goggles, because these goggles look exactly like the goggles that Cisco wears when he becomes Vibe. Yeah.
right. And they look like
Little
Jodie.
foreshadowing. Yeah, exactly. They're a little better than the hair clip.
Yeah,
The
I know.
the
The
banana
banana
clip.
clip.
Yeah, thank you. They're a little better than the banana clip.
I know. It's
They got
just
that cool gold sheen over them.
right.
But
So they decide they're going to do that. As they're doing that and they're talking about it, Wells comes in
yep.
and
by the
Caitlin,
way, I could help you build that.
right. Caitlin does a little soft shoeing,
And she's horrible about
and
lying still.
yeah, but she does a pretty
She
decent
does
job.
better.
But I think that Harrison kind of sees through it because he anticipates their plan
Mhm.
later, right?
Well,
Do you think
little bit,
maybe he saw
little bit.
through it?
Yeah, this
Okay,
yeah,
so
we don't know at this point, but Harrison probably has all their plans figured out, what they're doing,
right,
because he's been watching them on his
right,
cameras. But
right.
before that, all that happens though.
Well, no, I'm not
I
switching
know that,
stories.
I know that. I'm just saying.
Okay,
I'm just going back.
okay,
I'm
go
time
back.
jumping. Get it? Oof. Okay, yeah.
Oh, I see.
I'm time traveling back to before that scene, and
Okay,
we have Eddie.
right.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Eddie goes to
Back to
Joe,
Joe.
and he's all looking for Joe's blessing to marry Iris.
This was a bit of a
Yeah,
shock, even to
this
me.
kind of ends up in a kind of an epic fail because yeah, the Eddie's like, "Oh yeah, I'd like to marry your daughter," and Joe's like, oh, oh
Right.
hell no,
Oh, hell no.
and we get the
And
Price is Right
and
fail
Eddie's like,
music.
yeah. Eddie's like, I didn't really need to ask your permission, and I can ask her
Yeah,
anyway. And Joe is just like, no,
nope,
sorry,
I will
no,
break you.
no, you can't marry her.
Yeah,
Sorry. Yeah, that was unpleasant to watch.
yes.
I mean, it was a little
It
awkward.
just shut him
Yeah,
down cold. I mean, he
yeah.
was there was like no hesitation. Is like no, no, you're not. No,
No,
that's not happening. No, 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 no.
you're even doing it too
Yeah.
nicely. I mean,
No.
he blunt,
Yep.
just like nope.
Nope. Shut.
Yeah, that was it.
End of it. Drops the mic. Yep.
Down. Yeah, and then of course that's when they go to the house to have their little
Mm-hmm.
meeting, and so there's a little bit of tension
Yep.
there.
Yeah.
They're across
Little
the room
friction.
from each other. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then as they're leaving that
Right.
room, that's when Eddie goes to
Yep.
Barry, which is again
It's
awkward,
like
and he says, "Hey, can you maybe ask Joe why he doesn't want me to ask Iris to marry her?"
him.
And of
Yeah.
course, marry
Oh yeah.
her.
Yeah. Why? Why Iris? Why Joe
Why
doesn't want
Joe
him
doesn't want.
to ask Iris to marry him? Yeah.
Right, that's what I said.
Right.
Isn't it?
Not really. You said Iris. I want to ask Iris to marry her.
Oh,
Yeah.
whatever. Anyway, you knew what
I
I
knew what you
meant.
meant.
Okay,
I'm just giving
so
you crap about it.
why Joe didn't give me his
Yeah.
blessing. And, you know, this is the same time
Yeah.
hour that Barry has just seen that he's going to marry
Right.
Iris. So he knows that Joe hasn't seen
Right.
it. So he's almost like,
I have a
well,
secret.
okay,
Oh, by the way, guess what? I actually marry Iris.
right.
But see, Joe
And
wants Barry to marry Iris because Joe wants them together. Joe,
and he already
right,
knows that Iris has feelings
right,
for
and
her
he knows how
anyway,
Barry feels, so he knows that Barry would treat his daughter right.
right?
So he's not out there. Well, I mean, he's out there in danger because he being the Flash.
Yeah, but he also knows he can protect
Right.
her. And Eddie's in danger
Mhm.
also and can't really
Yeah.
protect her. So there's that. And
Eddie doesn't have the superpowers.
right. So there's that whole thing happening. And I think it's funny that later
Hmm.
when Eddie and Barry talk, he calls her Iris Thawne. And Barry says, I think she'll want to hyphenate.
Yes. A little, yeah, like in joke, like I'm not going to tell you why, but trust me, she's going to want to hyphenate. That was good. Yeah, I like that.
That's
I
very
like that.
funny. And there was a little discussion about that, but really that's kind of where
Yeah,
it ends up. It's
yeah,
very nebulous because Eddie ends up
right.
somewhere else at the end of the
And we also
episode.
get. Go
So
ahead.
no, go
No, I
ahead.
was just going to say that we get a little bit more marriage talk from Captain Singh, who
Oh,
reveals that, oh, by the way, I'm getting married to my boyfriend now, fiance, and
yeah.
it's stressing me out, man. It's stressing me out.
Yeah.
So
And he's nice to Barry and Barry can't figure
yeah,
it
he's like,
out.
okay,
Why is he nice
like
to
who
me?
are you and what have you done with Captain Singh who treats me like crap? Yeah.
Right. Did that change in the time
Yeah. Yeah. Did I
jump or
somehow
something?
fix that accidentally? If so, yay.
Yeah.
But yeah, but
Okay. And then there's the whole goggles. We'll go
yeah,
back to the
go back.
goggles
Yeah.
thing. Then Cisco makes this force field, which he tests on
Hmm.
Barry, and it works on
Right.
Barry,
Keeps him out.
right?
Uh-huh.
And then he puts on the goggles and he has his lucid dream
Hmm.
and he figures out what the deal is. with Harrison, and they figure it out through his dream that Harrison does all this stuff. So they figure out they get exactly what happens in
Yep.
his dream, and they need to recreate that whole scenario. So they decide they're going to do it.
Right.
And Joe and Barry are behind some crates that are. What is the deal with the crates there?
Well, it's like it's what they call it's I've seen it referred to as a bunker. So maybe it's just like
Okay.
it's this kind of multi-purpose room
Box.
where like some lab equipment maybe was there to be installed and it hasn't been uncrated yet. That's my
Okay.
guess. I
All
don't
right.
know. It just we had to have some crates there for Eddie and Joe to hide behind.
All right.
That's my
So
guess.
they're hiding behind the
Yeah.
crates while Cisco is talking and trying to get this
Or no,
confession out of
Barry and Joe
Harris.
are hiding behind the crates.
Yeah, Barry
Barry
and
and Joe.
Joe.
Sorry.
That's what I said.
You were right.
You said Eddie
You
and
were
Joe.
right. I was wrong.
No
Apolo-
problem. I was glossing over it. I don't call you out.
Oh.
But anyway,
Oh. Oh, that hurt. Dagger. Dagger.
uh, whoever was behind the crates,
Yes.
we're waiting there for Harrison to confess. And the scenario played out so much like the original scenario, except for the fact that he could step right through the force field
Don't.
because he knew what was going to happen,
Yeah.
apparently.
And could adjust it or, or be
Except
ready for it.
he didn't adjust it or was
I
ready
think he was
for
ready
it.
for it somehow.
It was the shape changer.
Yes, because it wasn't.
And it
Yeah, it wasn't
wasn't
Harrison
Harrison
Ford
Wells.
or Harrison Wells after all. It was
No,
Everyman
that's right.
from last week's episode who makes a
Yep,
return appearance guesting as Harrison Wells. Only
that's right.
it's like, oh, you got faked
So
out.
how many people have been Harrison Wells? That's
Yeah,
3 so
yeah,
far, right? Harrison Wells,
real Harrison Wells,
Eobard
Eobard
Thawne,
Thawne, and now
and
Everyman. So
Everyman.
yeah, wouldn't you like to be Harrison Wells too? Be Harrison Wells.
And see, it's kind of important that it wasn't Eddie behind the
Yeah,
crates because while all this is going
yeah. Well,
on,
Joe shoots at Wells.
right?
He-
And that's where
Yeah,
Everyman,
because he shoots like 3 bullets at who he thinks is Wells, but Barry doesn't want him to die, so he reaches out and manages to snag 2 of them, but the third strikes Wells / Everyman, and Everyman's revealed. Everyman's
right?
dead.
Right.
So,
Well, and that's where we see him.
yeah,
But
bye Everyman.
again, it's important that it's not
Yeah.
Eddie because Eddie is being
Yep.
absconded
Yeah.
by Eobard.
Yes.
And he is told that this is his descendant.
Yes.
Hi, my name is Eobard Thawne. Well, it's funny. I haven't seen you at any
Thawne.
of the family
Yep.
gatherings.
So you're a Thawne too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, yeah, and he makes a reference to like, yeah, being like part of the lineage,
Mm-hmm.
but he doesn't come out and say, oh yeah, by the way, I'm from the 25th century. You're my 21st century ancestor.
Right. But he does say I haven't been born
Yeah,
yet or something to that effect.
You're my insurance.
Right. And he says, well, no wonder you saved me.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it is kind of understood
Yes.
that he is necessary
Right.
to keep him alive. So, and I think that's where we're left, right?
Well, yeah, because Eddie, before he gets captured, he was proposing to Iris on the bridge.
Right.
And he's like he gets ready to pull out the ring, but then gets snagged by the Reverse Flash.
That's
And
right.
Reverse is like, no.
Yep.
We've got to keep that whole time thing going, right?
Yep.
So the Flash, meanwhile, shows up and rescues Iris.
Mm-hmm.
And in the process,
Oh,
yeah, there's a spark there.
talks in his real voice.
Yeah, well, that and he also like creates a little sparkage between them that Iris earlier in the episode when they had a flashback when Barry was in a coma,
Yep.
gave off the same spark. So Iris is like, ping,
Yep. Barry.
the Flash is
Yep.
Barry, and that's where we're
Yep.
left off.
That's right.
So
Now, so does this mean that Iris is only interested in him if he's the Flash?
that's a good question. She was kind of interested in Barry a little bit. Not really. I mean, we had to,
Yeah, but this will be twice
yeah,
now
that's right.
that she's interested in him
Yeah.
only after she finds out that he's the Flash.
Unless that's the thing that, like, maybe she was in denial over her feelings, and then the whole Flash revelation pushes her out of that denial stage.
Because she loves the Flash?
Okay, maybe. Well, it's the costume. Chicks dig the costume. I don't know.
How shallow, Iris.
I don't know. I don't
Seriously.
know. Maybe, hopefully, that will be handled better than that.
Yeah, but that is just
It
wrong
would be nice if the writers put in a little thing saying, I've loved you all along, and I'm just now realizing it.
now that you're the Flash.
Well, no, just you be me. Realizing that you're the Flash, it makes me figure out how much I've actually loved you all
I
along. I
guess.
don't know.
I guess.
I agree. There's
I mean,
that needs to be
even
handled.
Lois Lane fell in love with Clark Kent
Well, because he wooed her.
as
Clark
Clark
Kent,
Kent.
yes, yeah. Barry has been
Barry
pretty
has been in love with Iris and confessed his love to
right,
Iris
and she shot him.
as
And
Barry
she
Allen.
shot him down.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm with Eddie, and then
Right.
I'm gonna run to Eddie, and then he tell him about it, and then he'll punch you.
Right.
Yeah,
Right. And now I'm the Flash. Oh,
yep,
hi, Barry. I'm in love with you.
yep. Please.
Wrong.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
so what was your rating for this episode?
I give this 9 old movie references because Cisco references
Drum roll, please.
Inception,
Ding,
Dreamscape,
ding.
Kalima. Which
Kalima.
indie is that? Is
That's
that the second one?
that's Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
Yeah.
Ding. So yeah,
So those 3.
yep. I give it 9 out of 10 vibe goggles
Very
because
nice.
they're so stylish.
Yay.
Rocking the vibe goggles.
Yay.
Okay. Next we have iZombie.
Yay. Blow through this.
Zombie. I'm trying. Maternity Live, written by Bob Dearden, directed by Patrick Norris, where we have a pregnant woman named Emily Sparrow who stumbles across some teenagers drinking around a campfire. She dies, but good news, the baby survived.
Mm-hmm.
Emily's father, however, is not down with the fact that the baby may end up with Dylan,
The baby daddy.
Emily's douchebag boyfriend,
And he
and the
is quite
father of.
a douchebag.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Liv, of course, being Liv, eats Emily's brains to figure out what's going on. But she starts getting this time maternal instincts.
Yeah.
So we get to see Liv.
Which is a little awkward.
Yeah, it is because she's going around to everybody and like fixing their hair and dabbing her like finger so she can wipe smudges off their faces like moms do and stuff.
Ravi does not appreciate it.
Yeah.
And her brother doesn't appreciate it.
Yeah, it's
at all.
It's a little odd.
Yeah, she talks her brother into taking a job, which is probably pushing her more towards the meat market.
Right. Yeah, because her brother gets ganged up by both Liv and her mom about getting a job, and is like, "Yeah, I can't believe you're taking her side."
Right. And one side effect is that it's pushing her towards her family again.
Right. Right.
So I guess that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's if you kind of notice the with over the way these episodes have gone is like that Liv gets these character traits to make her overall a better person than what she was, because she was all focused on being a doctor, closing herself off from living, really.
Right.
So she's becoming a much more well-rounded individual.
Right. The last episode, at least, made her more carefree.
Yep.
This one now is making her understand what it's like to have family.
Yep.
Yeah.
So on the major front, he calls Clive to get help again with the missing kids.
I'm out of the major camp.
Yeah, because Major is kind of a jerk in this episode.
Douchebag.
Yeah, pretty much. Clive tells him in confidence that nobody in homicide wants a bunch of unsolved murders on the board. But there happens to be a reporter listening in with Major on the other side of the phone. So she asks him, like, the reporter asks Clive a gotcha question. Clive's like, "Oh crap," hangs up, slam.
And you know what? It's not like Clive says, I won't help you.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
It's like he says, look, I got a murder I'm working on right now.
I'm not missing persons, dude. I'm homicide.
Right.
It's not really my field.
Right.
Contact missing persons.
Right.
But apparently Major wants Clive to look into it because he's friends with Liv. So we have.
But that was just wrong
It was
to
wrong,
throw him to the
and
reporter
it's
like that.
not really the first, like the only bad thing Major does this episode.
Mm-mm.
Which we'll get into later. Ravi admits that he told Major about Lowell to live. Lowell, meanwhile, and Ravi end up bonding over the UK of all things, which I thought was kind of a great scene.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
And Liv just
yeah,
did not understand what the hell they were saying.
right, because Lowell's there to Ravi's going to run tests on him.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of figures out that the zombie virus was created by what he thinks is a bad utopium batch,
Mm-hmm.
combined with an unlisted ingredient in a Max Rager energy drink.
Right.
So that energy drink apparently has something to do with it as well. So that was interesting.
Yeah.
Lowell, however, like Liv tries to kiss him, but Lowell's just like, I'm not into this right now.
Right.
I gotta be going.
Right.
So
But he is a scientist.
Liv, of course, thinks it's like her.
Right.
What am I doing wrong?
All we get is that he ate a scientist brain
Yeah,
at this point
right,
because he and Ravi are like
right.
really into
Right.
talking about the scientist brain.
But later we find out that the scientist was actually, oh, guess what? He was gay.
Right. Yep.
So so Liv's like, oh, well, that's why. So we'll just
So we'll have a BFF date.
yeah, so we'll just hang out and we'll dance and we'll talk girl stuff. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. And so they have like a Pretty in Pink ducky date.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
That's a good
And that's
that's a
fun.
good comparison. So I guess it's, that's, oh, if that happens, we'll just hang out that evening.
Right. And by the way, they can build this foundation upon
Right.
which to base their relationship.
Right. They're not it's not just purely physical.
That's right.
They're actually talking, and
They're
so
becoming friends.
yep. So yeah, so Lowell's kind of becoming more well-rounded as an individual as well
Mm-hmm.
in that regard. Because of what Major did, that D-bag move,
Mm.
Clive gets demoted to paperwork detail
Mm-hmm.
and is getting heat from his cop buddies because of it, because the newspaper used that quote. And he gets on Liv's case about it, said, thanks for introducing me to Major. Well played.
Right.
Thanks, Liv.
It was wrong of
Yep.
him. That was.
Yeah.
I'm so mad at him.
Yeah. And Major, meanwhile, goes to follow Julian, the big goon from Meet Cute,
The
the
Candyman.
Candyman
Mm-hmm.
from the skate park.
Mm-hmm. The guy who beat him up, right?
Right, essentially. So he's all fixated on him. So while Julian's inside this tanning salon or whatever, Major breaks into his car and he's go rifling through there looking for evidence or something. Comes across a little like Ziploc canister thing, one of those little, storage containers full of human brain.
Yep. And I'm sure it is human brain.
Of course, it's human brain.
Yeah.
But the cops, of course, come by at that moment saying, "Hi, we're the police. You just broke into this guy's car.
Uh-huh.
Spread them, get him up,
Yeah.
get him up on the hood." And Major's all like, "Oh, but he's got a human brain inside there."
Yep.
And of course, at that moment, um, Julian comes out and he's like, "No, no, no, it's a cow's brain. I work at the butcher shop. See, here's my
Mm-hmm.
card."
Yep.
So
Karma.
yeah, and then
Even though he's a bad guy.
yeah, so yeah, so Major gets carted off in the back seat of a police car, and Julian's like, "Bye."
Mm-hmm. Which, I'm weighing it and I'm going,
Yeah,
that's an even scale there.
yeah. Well, and better because when he was at the police station, uh, the cops who are not happy with Major one bit, bringing a bunch of like beefy, nasty-looking dudes to hang with him in the holding cell.
Yep.
So lucky you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he going to be made a bitch? Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? So a little awkward there. Liv, we have the weekly case of the week. Turns out to be like this animal control officer is behind this whole thing
And her husband.
and her husband.
They want kids? Is that the deal?
Yeah, kind of, because they have like a little creepy cult thing going.
Yeah.
With their brides or something.
Yeah.
Um, Liv gets shot in the leg in the process, in the back of the leg, like the lower calf area or whatever. And Lieutenant Zombie,
Yeah, he goes all zombie mode.
yeah, he goes all zombie mode, kills the animal control officer.
Yeah, without provocation. But of
Yeah,
course,
yep.
He's the only one to witness
I
it.
like how he rips off a fridge door, uses it as a shield
I know, pretty
as
badass.
she shoots at him,
Yeah,
and then just mauls her.
blam.
Yep.
Yeah,
But he notices Liv's leg, and he's like, "Oh, she must be a zombie too."
mm-hmm.
But so he knows that she's a zombie, but she doesn't know that he's a zombie.
Right.
Wouldn't you like to be a zombie too? Yeah.
That's right.
And lastly, we have Liv leaving the morgue, not really noticing that one of Ravi's little rats that he's been using as test subjects for his
Right.
zombie research has broken out and has gone zombie mode, ripped into the other cages, and killed all the rats that were.
Right. Is eating all the brains of the
Yeah.
other rats.
So here's my issue. Okay. Has Ravi unwittingly unleashed a zombie rat plague on Seattle?
Yep. The white plague.
Right, because these rats presumably the rats that the zombie rat encounters may get turned into zombie rats,
Right.
and rats being rats, they're kind of populous.
Yep.
So I would think that would spread pretty quickly.
Well, any rat that he has just scratched
Right.
will run off.
Right. And
Right.
what happens if the rats scratch humans? Do they get turned into zombies?
That I don't know.
This seems like a really big
A big problem.
epic fail on Ravi's part.
Yep, exactly.
It's like, dude, you just unleashed a zombie rat plague.
Yep.
What are you doing?
Not good.
Not good. So I gave this one 8 out of 10 zombie lab rats, of course, because the idea of zombie rats is just too awesome.
Scary.
What did you give it?
I gave it 8 paper fortune tellers because Liv and Lowell were doing the little paper fortune. It's that thing like at the beginning of
Yeah, like blue, BLUE. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. If you've never done that, you kind of missed out in junior high school.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah. Okay, we have Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Mm-hmm.
The 19th episode of the season, The Dirty Half Dozen.
Mm-hmm.
By Brent Fletcher and Drew Z. Greenberg. So that should tell you it's a little bit more of an important episode. Directed by everybody's favorite director, Kevin Tancherowin.
That's right.
We start off with Raina dreaming of blood dripping from Gordon's head. And then she also dreams of Lincoln on a hospital bed, a scale, Coulson's got his gun drawn, there's a Hydra insignia on a bag, and of course Skye, because Skye is important to everything on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Right. And Skye is going to save everyone.
Savior of the universe.
That's right.
Wait, that's Flash.
That was Flash. We
Sorry.
did that one already.
Sad.
Yeah, it was a really good effect too.
Yeah,
the way
it was.
she did that flashy thing.
The flashy. Ooh, I see what you did there.
Yeah. The
Okay.
flashy.
But interestingly, Raina only tells Jiaying about Lincoln.
Yeah.
There's a little omission there, so
which a big omission, but
well, yeah, but it's not. And we have, speaking of Coulson, he's off telling Gonzalez after surrendering last week. He's talking to them about Dr. List and Strucker's superpower experiments. Which
Coulson is really great at the diplomat thing.
Yeah.
In this episode.
Right. Because he handles Gonzalez, because Gonzalez is all pissed off at Coulson.
Oh, yeah.
But Coulson kind of talks him down and off the ledge a little bit.
Coulson is amazing with him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he plays him like a fiddle through the whole episode.
That's probably Coulson's superpower, is diplomacy.
Yeah, I think so.
I agree.
I mean, especially at the end, too.
Yes.
I love how he plays him at the end.
Yeah. No, the good thing, the thing I liked about this scene is Coulson tells Gonzalez that he knows that Gonzalez has a little secret hidden in that cargo hold of his ship.
Yep.
It's like, I know this because I found it in the toolbox.
Yep.
And but I will let you have the toolbox if you help me out.
Right.
With this.
But you'll only get the toolbox at the end of the mission.
Yes. So
which is fantastic.
I got to get what I want.
Right.
Yeah.
And so they decide they're going to join forces
Right.
and they're going to save his guys
Yes.
and they're going to infiltrate this Hydra base.
Right. Now there's a cool scene when they do that where Sky, in this very coolly shot scene, takes out a whole bunch of Hydra soldiers by herself.
Mm-hmm.
She goes full Black Widow and is just like "Ba-bam, ba-ba, ba-ba, ba-ba," and the
Yeah.
camera's spinning around and it's a fantastic
I
scene.
know. I love it.
I love that shot.
Great.
I have not been the biggest Sky fan,
No, but she's good in
but
this.
she was very cool in that episode.
Yeah.
So I will give props there. Um, she finds Lincoln dead when they raid the place, but she uses her quake powers to jumpstart his heart.
Mm-hmm.
She's like a human defibrillator.
Okay. That's the part I was like, huh? Come on.
Well, she can vibrate stuff, so she's vibrating
Yeah,
his heart. It's comic book stuff,
I
comic
know.
book science. This should not be like the most outrageous thing you've ever seen.
I know.
I know it's
I was
not.
just like, come on.
Well, you gotta. Yeah. Okay, I get what you're going.
She could do earthquakes. Okay.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
defibrillator?
But it's like a very fine tuning her, using her like big, massive, like I can shake a mountain powers on a very micro scale.
All right, whatever.
I'm guessing.
I'll give it to her,
You,
whatever.
you got to roll with it, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I did like
Simmons,
her showing off her powers to Ward, though.
right?
That
Yeah.
was great.
So it's like you're not going to hurt
So
me again, sunshine.
I guess things have changed since the last time I saw her. Because she
Just
goes,
a little. Yep.
puts her hands out
Right.
and throws people back with like this force wave thing.
Yes. Yep.
And he's like, whoa, okay, that's pretty awesome.
Right. The Gemma Simmons is a bit interesting in this episode because we find that she's pretty pissed off at Ward having tried to kill her and
Okay.
Fitz, which understandably because like he left them dropped at the bottom of the ocean ready to die
I
and
get that. I get
so,
that.
yep.
But I didn't know she could be that bloodthirsty.
I don't think she knew she could be that bloodthirsty, but apparently she can because she tries to kill Ward with a splinter bomb.
Because, ouch.
Yeah, which would totally take him out, but unfortunately, this guy named Bakshi gets killed instead.
The guy who's helping them
Right,
infiltrate the base.
right. So it's like,
Gee, thanks.
bum, 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 bum.
Hey, thanks for all your help.
Yeah. And Ward, because Ward's a dick, he has to go like, I'm really disappointed in you, Gemma. I
To be
expected that,
fair,
right?
she did try to kill him.
But to be fair, he tried to kill her first,
But
and
he's
Fitz.
helping them.
I know, but it's kind of a hard thing to get over that somebody tried to kill you.
All right. He is trying his very best to redeem himself. And yes, I get he was a huge dick.
Yes.
He came back pretty much, on his hands and knees saying, look, I can help you with this. I have this plan. I'm helping you. I'm bringing in all my cards. Here's all my chips on the table.
Right.
I can't make up for everything, but let me help you with this. And this is their big bad.
Yep.
Hydra. Look, just work with me on this one thing and I won't bother you anymore.
Right.
He's not saying let me back in. He's saying I'm helping you with something.
Yeah.
But
So
still,
right. So Ward takes off. He calls Coulson up and is like, guess what? I'm out of here.
Yeah. Can't blame him.
No, but
I know he's a dick, okay?
Yeah.
But I do have a soft spot for him because of all the Agent 33 stuff.
Right. Well,
he was kind to her.
And speaking of which, he leaves Agent 33 behind.
Yep.
To try and get the forgiveness that he feels he doesn't deserve.
He doesn't feel that, does he? I mean,
no. Yeah, he's just like, I don't deserve this, but she does. So help her out.
They are really trying to redeem his character, I think.
Well, they need to if they want to have him part of the team.
Yeah.
But the thing is, though, I can understand Gemma wanting to hold a grudge. I'm kind of team Gemma in this.
I get it, but that was
Yeah, but
That
she
was
handled it
smart.
very badly, and now she's got an innocent death on her hands.
Yeah.
So now she's gonna have to have that regret.
Yeah. She is.
And
Now
what's gonna
she's
happen? What's gonna happen when Fitz finds out about it?
right.
Right?
And she is just as bad as Ward in my book. Right? I mean, in that one
I don't
case,
know about that because Ward went around killing people all over the place.
left and right. Yes. Okay, I get it.
He killed, Xena. So
Yeah, that's true with the arm thing.
yeah, he was kind of a dick there.
Okay. She, on a very much smaller scale, has killed an innocent person.
Right.
She's
Yeah.
bad. That's
Yeah.
bad.
It's not good karma. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
I overspoke.
Yeah. Coulson.
My bad. My bad on that one. She's not nearly as bad as Ward was.
No.
But Ward's trying to redeem himself. She's got some redeeming to do in this
Now,
case.
maybe it'll be better if like Ward does go through that Tahiti program and gets his brain wiped.
He doesn't want to.
No, he doesn't
And I
want to.
don't blame him. I wouldn't want to either.
Yeah.
And I don't know that he should.
Yeah. Ward is basically Angel trying to get forgiveness from Buffy after he went all Angelus and killed people. To put it in
Right.
that perspective,
Exactly.
if you watch Buffy,
Right.
right?
And now with Agent 33, we have the lovely and talented Maya Stosian on the show.
Yep.
So yay for that.
So I was surprised. It seems like she's going to be a regular. So
Looks like it.
yeah, so
I'm
we'll see
very happy about that.
unless she goes to the spinoff.
She might.
She might. Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll find out. Coulson in a very cool move. I kind of laughed at this.
Oh, so
He just flips over the toolbox. He opens it up. Is like boop, boop, boop. Okay,
Sure,
here you go.
Until
And
Nick
Gonzalez has this look on his face like, oh, dude, it was that. That's it. That's all you did. That's all you had to do.
Yeah.
That thing that we've been struggling to open.
Well, it was because it was
I know.
to him.
I know, but I just think it was just funny.
And then he goes, "Have fun."
Yeah.
Have fun with it until Nick Fury comes to claim it, which
Yeah.
I'm assuming from how he says it is going to be like in 2 days or something.
Pretty much.
I mean, yeah. And then he says, "Oh, I got to take this," and it's Maria, right?
Yes.
On the phone.
Yeah.
And he goes, "I got to take this."
Bye.
And walks away, and he leaves Gonzalez out of it, which is hilarious.
It is. From this point on, though, the episode. They must have realized like, oh, this episode's coming out the same week Avengers: Age of Ultron. So I guess we need to tie everything into Avengers: Age of Ultron now. So we have Jiaying telling Reina that all the decisions. Oh, you're taunting me with the Avengers 57 again.
Behold.
Give me that comic.
Behold the vision.
We wants it. We wants the precious. We must have the precious.
I know, it's such a pretty cover. Sorry.
He wants it. Gives us the precious.
I'll put a picture up on the page of it.
Yeah, so
so they tied it in with the Loki
scepter. Yeah, well, like Reina starts having visions of Loki's scepter. So they're really big on the scepter.
Mm-hmm.
Coulson, meanwhile, gives Maria Hill some info on the scepter and tells her that he's figured out that it's in Sokovia, which is this country that that we start off with in Avengers: Age of Ultron. That Sokovia is apparently where Dr. List is headed to hook up with Baron Strucker, who is a Major League Hydra guy that also is conveniently in Avengers: Age of Ultron. We have Coulson telling Hill everything he knows about Strucker's location. Maria is asking him if the Theta Protocol is ready.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess we find out that, guess what? The Theta Protocol that we've been referencing these past few episodes is actually just saying, okay, we're going to bring in the Avengers now.
Okay.
So
she says, "Is the Theta Protocol ready?" And he says, "Yep, it looks like we should bring in the Avengers."
Yeah.
Dun dun dun.
Yep. So
all these guys, whatever.
Yeah. Because for those who haven't seen Avengers: Age of Ultron yet, we start off in Sokovia where Strucker's there, and we find out he's been doing experiments with superpowered people.
Spoilers.
Yeah. So that's all I'm saying.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying. So
I haven't seen it.
So you could just dive right in from that point. Go watch Avengers: Age of Ultron, then come back for next week's Agents of Shield. I
Yep.
guess
Then
just
of
like
course,
for Captain America: The Winter Soldier,
okay. There's a little bit with
Raina, because she starts.
Sky's dad,
Yeah, there
who
is
is unpleasant,
Cal. Yeah, he's not happy about that. About what's the Sky's kind of being isolated from him, and
right?
that
And that
Jain
they
is
weren't
kind
going to let him back into Afterlife,
right,
right?
right. So
Um,
Jaing's got her own little agenda going.
right. Raina sees the metal men destroying cities. That's what she says to
Yeah,
Jiang,
yeah. I've got the
which of
quote
course
here.
is the
Yeah, it says that she starts having a prophecy that something terrible is saying that, quote, consequences are upon us. Men made of metal will tear our cities apart and the world will be changed forever.
dun dun dun.
And referring, of course, to Ultron, but exactly. Little glitchy on that dramatic music there, but
Sorry.
that's okay. Spoilers: the world does not get changed forever.
Yeah.
But that's
Whatever.
all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So okay. So what did you give this one?
Also, what's his name loses his eye and a leg.
Oh, Deathlock.
Yeah, but they're
But
gonna fix that.
they're gonna fix it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like
I just wanted
okay,
to mention it.
yeah, okay, that's cool. J. August Richards, you're our guy because you gave Karen a shout out and
I know that's
some
awesome.
love. Yeah, so that's cool.
Awesome.
You're Deathlock approved.
Yay. I'll take a Deathlock stamp
Yep.
anytime.
Oh,
So I give it 8.5 surprisingly saved red shirts because I really thought that what's his name was gonna bite it. The guy who was
Ford.
dead.
Yeah.
The earthquake. Yeah. I was
Lincoln. I've been thinking, what
surprised
the hell have you been drinking? Yeah.
because he's such an insignificant kind of character. Not
He's
that I
expend
dislike him.
he's expendable.
Right.
Yeah.
I was just like, okay,
Yep.
great,
Right.
whatever.
I gave this one 8 out of 10 as Guardian Scepters because the scepter, they're really into the scepter
Yeah, they
this
really
episode.
are.
They're really about it, and it doesn't really factor in that much. I mean, it kind of factors in the movie, but
Okay.
okay. So go see the movie. It's pretty cool. I enjoyed it. So that's my quick review
All right.
of Avengers: Age of Ultron. Go see it. Arrow next. Episode 21, Al Sahim. Are you still with us? You seem to be okay. All right. This is written by Brian Ford Sullivan and Emilio Ortega Aldrich, which is a great name. Emilio Ortega Aldrich.
Very nice name.
Directed by Thor Freudenthal.
I wonder if he has rich Corinthian leather.
Yeah. It's like I don't know who has a cooler name here, Emilio Ortega Aldrich or Thor Freudenthal, because that's
Mm,
just name Thor is just like
yeah.
that's just a bold thing.
Yeah.
If I was named Thor, I would change my middle name to God of Thunder or Odin's son.
Odinson.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So we start off with Oliver not doing so well because he's getting brainwashed and he's getting imprisoned and starved and going through all this training into becoming Al Sahim. So
Mm-hmm.
Oliver Queen is getting wiped away, and all that remains is Al Sahim.
Yep.
Roz, as part of a test, has orders Oliver to kill Diggle. Like Diggle, they bring out Diggle's like, oh, they lied about me leaving the country, and they fight. They have a duel. Oliver kills Diggle. He stabs him through the heart,
Yep.
and but we find out, oh, guess what? It was just a hallucination. Yeah, I could barely hear that.
Sorry.
There's a little light on the audio. Give it another go.
How's that?
There you go. That's better. All right. So yeah, yeah, it's kind of like I'm wondering if it's those like flowers from Batman Begins that cause this hallucination.
Yeah.
So that's my guess.
Well, he says it's
Uh,
something.
yeah, it's a
Gives him
herb. He says it's a herb
a herb.
or herb.
A herb tarlic.
It's very
As
nice.
God is my
In
witness.
Cincinnati. Yeah, nice.
I thought turkeys could fly.
Um, wow, that's an obscure reference. Very,
Yep.
very nice. Um, no one under 40 will get that
We'll
reference,
get a
but
WKRP in Cincinnati reference.
Probably not. Black Canary. Oh, excuse me. Before that, Roz tells Oliver about Damien Dark,
Mm-hmm.
a rogue league member who was referenced a while back as apparently being the father of Felicity Smoke. So that could get really awkward.
Yes, it could.
Or Roz wants Oliver to kill him, but apparently it's not a pressing matter because he wants Oliver to do all this other stuff first.
Mm-hmm.
So Roz is kind of all over the place a little bit.
Side note.
Yep.
The enigmatic Damien Dark is an elusive and dangerous criminal mastermind who is an enemy of the Teen Titans.
Yep. He was kind of a really lame Teen Titans villain. He was connected with Hive,
Yep.
the Hive.
Which is also
Uh,
mentioned in this episode.
Right. So I'm guessing season 4 will involve the Hive.
Yes.
And
This
probably
is where I
Damien
was
Dark.
leading.
Well, I was just getting there quicker.
Okay. He's shown to be well established and well connected despite being in his early 20s and has remained untouchable by the FBI and CIA. He certainly appears to have some connection to the crime syndicate Hive and has access to unique high-tech equipment unknown to any organization except probably
Right.
Hive. Dark is also a Wi-Fi genius,
Uh-huh.
able to
Hint,
stay in
hint,
touch
hint, hint.
with anyone by the very latest forms of mass communication. During an altercation with the Teen Titans, Dark was shot to death by Vandal Savage.
And I was glad about that because Damien Dark was pretty lame.
That's right.
Black Canary and Nissa, meanwhile, are bonding. They go after criminals, and then afterwards they go out for dinner at a diner or restaurant somewhere, burgers and fries, and they bond over dipping French fries into milkshakes. So
Gross.
okay, yeah, because I'm not down with that.
Me either.
I've never seen anybody do that.
I have, but
Oh, you
I
have?
hate it. It's gross.
Okay, all right. I don't know
I'm
anybody
not
that
into
does
the
it.
salty and sweet thing.
See, I like salty and sweet like kettle corn, but
That's all right, I
but
guess.
I like salty and sweet, but I wouldn't like. I'm not down with. It seems like it would ruin the milkshake or the fry or something. The fry would get all soggy. I'm not
Right.
down with that. I want it crispy.
Now, this is actually the Hive storyline. If they decide to do that in next season, that can be a really good crossover thing with the Flash, right? Because that
Yes.
ties in with Caitlin becoming
Yes.
Killer Frost.
Yes, kind of. It could, depending on what they do with. I mean, they've been changing things, so we don't know for sure that they're going to do that.
Okay. But I mean,
Yeah.
they're responsible for a bunch of stuff
Right.
with the characters on Flash too, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yes, they are.
Okay.
Yeah, it's essentially one show at this point.
Okay.
Soon to be possibly 3 shows that are one show
Okay.
if they get that spin-off.
The Justice League.
Yeah, something Legends.
I know. You know what I mean, though. The whole
I know.
group is
Yes,
gonna be.
the team. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, on the Flash, we forgot to mention that the computer almost said that he founded the Justice League.
Right.
Yeah,
we can't
because
say
you founded
that.
the.
Yeah.
Anyway, go
Okay.
ahead. Back to Al
That's
Sahim.
okay. Yeah, back to Al-Sahim. Nissa confronts Oliver because she finds out that Oliver is gunning for her as, her replacement in Roz's eyes. They begin fighting, and it doesn't look good for Nissa at one point. Oliver actually kind of overpowers her, but who steps in to save her but Black Canary with her canary cry that Cisco just happened to invent just in time.
Yeah.
So we get the first use of her new canary cry.
Right. And it's weird.
Yeah, she basically, like, it's kind of funny that Katie Cassidy, who plays Black Canary, had made this like really weird face with her lips. She's like,
Yeah.
really like this kind of oval shaped mouth instead of just
Yeah, it's weird.
extent. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Diggle finds out that Oliver, after the fight, goes and kidnaps Lila.
Yeah, that's not
Which
good.
I gotta think Lila would at least put up more of a fight, but yeah, it's just kind of a dick move.
Well, she does say that she thought they were going to take Sarah.
Yeah, right. That's true. But so Diggle blames Nissa for what happened and tells her, like, listen, girl, you better surrender to the League of Assassins so I can get my wife back. Nissa finally says, "Okay, I will do that."
Yeah,
So they've
after
set up.
Laurel yells at
Yeah,
Diggle
yeah.
and Felicity is like,
So, all right. Question:
"Uh-huh."
Is there something going on here now with between Nissa and Laurel?
I don't think it's
Like,
anything sexual. I just think that she's
That's what I'm asking.
loyal to her because of the
Because
relationship
the
she
way
had with Sarah,
maybe she just appreciated the way that
treated
she took
Sarah.
care of Sarah, cared
Yeah,
about Sarah. Okay. All right. Fair enough. I'll go with that. Just putting it out
right.
there because
And Nissa
we don't
is
know.
helping her.
Right.
She doesn't have anything against Nissa, and she has more in the fore camp than
Now, do you
Laurel.
think Nissa might be attracted to
Oh, yeah,
Laurel?
I'm sure.
Okay, because
Why
she's
not?
got a thing for lances,
Sure.
apparently. Yeah. Okay. But you don't think Laurel? This might be a one-sided
It
crush.
it would be a one-sided crush.
Probably. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Um, so they do the exchange, Nissa for Lila.
And that's completely on Nissa.
Right.
Nissa decides she's
Right.
gonna do that. She
Yeah.
steps up.
Uh, so of course a fight breaks out because we need some action.
Mhm.
Oliver's about to kill Diggle for reals,
Mhm.
but who steps in to save Diggle? Thea.
Yeah,
She appears for the first time in
that's
costume.
right.
She's got her own speedy
That's
costume.
right. Spoiler
Spoilers.
alert. A hooded
And
costume, let's put it that way.
shoots her brother with an
That's
arrow.
right.
So, and Oliver's not happy about it. He's like, Oliver's, oh, Al Sahim smash.
There is no Oliver.
There is only Al
That's
Sahim.
right. And
There's no Dana, only
that
Zool.
was reflected in the opening of the show too. This was
Right,
a
right.
completely different opening.
Yeah.
My name was
Uh,
Oliver Queen.
right, right. Oliver, meanwhile, leaves with Nissa because he's like, okay, I'm out of here. You shot me with an arrow.
You bastard.
Thanks. Yeah. You bastard.
Exactly.
Um,
South.
uh, yeah, South Park. Oliver takes Nissa to Roz. Roz orders him to kill Nissa because Roz is a jerk.
Mhm. Kill my daughter.
Uh, yeah, kills. So Oliver's about to do it, and steps in and is like, "No, no, no! I was just testing
Again,
you
out of
again."
character.
Again, right, right, exactly. No, we're not gonna. So what we're gonna do instead, though, now that Nissa has obviously been broken,
Except not.
um, except not, I think she would be a great bride for
Uh-huh.
you. So you two are gonna get married, and
Gonna go to the chapel.
Nis, yeah, exactly. Nis is going to be the new bride of the demon,
Mhm.
which, okay, this is kind of messed up on several levels here
Mhm.
because does Roz not know that Nissa is gay?
I don't think he cares.
Okay, so
He just wants some sort of a male heir that has his
right,
bloodline.
so regardless of how his daughter
He
feels,
doesn't care
I want the you guys to make a baby.
with his blood.
Yeah, with his blood. So yeah.
So he doesn't care.
Right. So, which is not good if you're Nissa. It's like, thanks, Dad.
Nope. He doesn't give a crap.
Nope.
That
Not
that's been
good.
happening in the Middle East forever in Asian cultures
Right.
and
Right. Right.
arranged marriages. No matter how
Exactly.
the people feel about each other, in order to get blood descendants that they want. So it's not out of the
Yep.
realm of possibility.
No, it's not. No, it's not. All right. So, after all is said and done, Felicity goes and talks to Thea. They kind of like, oh, well, Oliver's lost to us, but we'll just have to deal with it. Felicity tells Thea that, oh, guess what? Roy's alive. And here's his location if you want to start a new
hmm
life.
And she cops to the
So it's up
fact
to
that
you.
she and Oliver are
Yeah.
kind of in love, kind of.
Yeah. Flashback sex.
No, we didn't have that.
We didn't have flashback sex. I'm glad you
You're
kept
welcome.
that.
Yeah,
Thank you.
and there was another thing I was gonna.
Well, Roz tells Oliver, lastly, he says, oh, regardless of all those tests that I made you go through, you are only going to prove your true worthiness if you wipe out Starling City with this shiny new bioweapon.
That's right.
Ba, ba, ba. So this bioweapon was made with the handcrafted care of, yeah. So
I wish I had some sort of
and
music to go with that, but I don't.
yeah, I know, some kind of game show music. But presumably this bioweapon is the same virus that we've been getting
The Alpha
flashbacks about
Omega.
throughout.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
so it's
is.
presumably that because we had I mean, the only real important thing of the flashback this week, because it's not those flashbacks really aren't that important. They haven't been. Is that Akio, Masao, and um,
Tatsu.
Tatsu?
Mhm.
Yes, thank you. Their son is now seems to be infected with the
Right.
virus. So, and is probably going to
Yeah.
die
He's got the
because we,
blood.
yeah,
Oh,
because at some point between the flashback and now, Masao ends up working for Ra's al Ghul, and Tatsu's off, presumably becoming Katana,
yeah.
which is great because we actually saw our first little clip of Rila Fukushima as
That's right.
Katana, which is awesome. I'm
I have some
excited,
pictures.
and her costume looks pretty much dead on to the new 52 version of her
Yep.
costume with the Japanese flag mask
Hmm.
that she's rocking. That some fans have like said, well, that's maybe not the best thing in real life because it's kind of like a target for your forehead.
It's a television show.
Exactly. So it's a tribute to the Japanese flag. She's a
That's
Japanese
right.
character. Okay. All right. So what'd you
I
give
gave
this
it
one?
8 Speedy costumes.
A speedy costume. If this now we don't know if this is actually going to be your final
It looks an
costume,
awful
but
lot like the Speedy costume.
it's pretty
Yeah.
good. So
Speedy
yes,
2
probably is.
looks like.
Yeah, because yeah, Mia Dearden from the comics, which Mia, Thea kind of sounds similar. And Thea's middle name is Dearden, right?
Yes.
So there you go. So it's obviously a version of Mia Dearden from the comics. I give this one 7.5 out of 10 milkshake covered French
It's
fries,
gross.
which are
Sorry,
kind of
it's really
gross. Yeah,
gross.
I'm not down with it. I'm
Yeah,
against it. I'm against
me
it.
too.
Whatever it is, I'm against it. Um, Leslie Daredevil. In the
Yeah.
Blood, written by Joe Pekaski, directed by Ken Girardi, and we start off with Siberian prison 8 years ago, where these wacky Russians, Anatoly and Vladimir, they're wacky
They're
Russians.
too wild and crazy guys.
They're two wild and crazy Russians in the prison cell. They're making the prison shivs
Bones.
from a rib
Ugh.
cage of the guy left in their cell for rats. And it's like, oh, thanks for giving us these body parts that we could use to like
I
escape from the
have to
prison.
tell you, this is the most descriptive title of any television episode ever. In the Blood.
Yeah, yeah, because
A
there's a lot of blood in this
lot
one,
of blood. Okay. So yeah,
which we will get
the
into.
2
Yeah, we'll get
dudes, the
into
2
that real soon.
brothers, the
Yeah.
gulag.
Yeah. Speaking of blood, Daredevil, well, pre-Daredevil, the guy in the man in
Mhm.
the mask, goes to see Claire, night
Yep.
nurse,
Mark.
to get his wound to get more of his wound stitched
Mhm.
up. Claire's like, dude, you got to get some body armor. You're kind of failing at this.
Boop.
Body armor? I can't do the body armor. I can't move freely in body
Yep.
armor. But so Matt's kind of flirting with her, still using the Mike Murdoch
Right.
alias at this point, he gives Claire a burner phone so that he can contact her for medical emergencies. So she's probably like, "Great, you're going to harass me
Yeah.
every time you get all messed up because you won't
She
wear
doesn't
body
look
armor."
pleased. I think he keeps the
Yeah.
burner phone and gives her the number because
Hmm.
she's calling him on a flat normal phone. But
Right.
anyway, it's immaterial.
It is.
I'm just being picky, you know.
Wesley. That's okay. Wesley,
I really
meanwhile,
want to watch
meets
the
with.
rest of this series. Should I binge watch it or should
Yeah,
I not?
yes, you
I've
should.
been trying
You
to
should.
watch one every week though.
Well, it's up to you, but I'm on episode 12. I have one more to go. So take that for what you will.
Okay.
Wesley meets with the Russians, tells them, you can double your input if you like sign on with my bro, the Kingpin.
Mhm.
But
Wesley's
they're
weaselly,
like,
isn't he?
yes, he is. He's Smithers
Mhm.
to the Kingpin's, Kingpin's
Yeah.
Mr. Burns.
He kind of reminds me of a bad Lucian from The Sandman, doesn't
Right.
he?
He's the guy that takes care of all the paperwork, all the stuff that the boss
Right.
doesn't want to deal with. He's the executive
Right.
assistant.
And in The Sandman, he takes care of all the stuff in the library. Lucian
Right.
does.
Yeah.
So, and he's got
Right.
the glasses
But
and everything.
Yeah, but Wesley's all like, okay, I'm setting up the deals, I'm getting people on board, I'm making things
Yeah.
happen. So the Russians decide to visit the guy that Daredevil put in the hospital a couple episodes ago and tortured. They pull out his breathing tube and his IVs, just yank those things right out of there. And they did a cool shot where the breathing tube comes right out, and it looked pretty. I've had that breathing tube in my
I have too.
throat. I
Me
despise
too.
those breathing tubes. I have nightmares about
Mm-hmm.
those breathing tubes. So
No,
bad
they're
flashback there watching
terrible.
that. They inject him with
Mm-hmm.
epinephrine
A la
to wake him out of
Pulp
his.
Fiction.
Yeah. Well, that was no. In Pulp Fiction, there was
Yeah, but
adrenaline,
it's
wasn't it?
similar. It's the same
Yeah.
shot looking
Okay.
thing.
Okay.
I mean, they just go
Yeah, it's
straight down.
basically like plunge it through because you have to plunge it through the
Yep.
rib cage
Really hard into
into the heart, Yeah. So he's like, wakes up like what's her name in Kill
yeah.
Bill? Yeah, just pops right out of her
Yeah.
coma there.
Dear.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why
Don't you
don't
know?
they wake every coma victim with stuff like that?
I
Because it
don't
would
know.
kill them, I'm
Maybe it's
guessing.
not. Maybe it's not medically safe.
Well, yeah, but still, if you could wake
I
them
know.
up, if
I
you
don't know.
okay, whatever.
I don't know. Maybe they can't be brought out that way. Maybe that's I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I just play one on TV. I just time
Okay,
travel as
that
one.
works.
How's that? Um, so yeah, the guy they brought out of the coma, he's tells them all about Daredevil torturing him and about Claire. So they're like, "Oh, I guess we'll go pay Claire a visit, won't we?"
Yep. They find her neighbor.
Our buddy, yeah, they find her neighbor, and yeah,
That's not good.
uh, no, our buddy the Kingpin goes back to the art gallery so he can ask out the curator Vanessa on a date out for dinner. And she's like, "Hi, I'm Vanessa. I'm
Mm-hmm.
Wilson. Let's go dating." Okay.
Right.
The Russians, like you said, like we talked about, they go to Claire's apartment and grab her. Just after she calls Matt on the burner
Right.
phone. So I guess it's a good thing he
That's
gave
right.
it to her, conveniently enough.
He shows up. It's a little
Didn't
late, but he shows up.
didn't waste any time
Right.
using that one. He races the apartment. He dishes the cane, like he just flings it and starts taking off through the alleyways and rooftops, and he tries to track down, uses an enhanced hearing to track them down, but the trail goes cold until he goes back to Claire's friend and asks him for information. He says, "Oh yeah, by the way, I saw them get into a Venice
Right.
taxi." So Matt's like, "Oh, I guess I need to go pay Venice taxi
Mm-hmm.
a visit." Karen,
Yes?
not
You knew
you.
I was gonna do that, right?
Yes, I did. I did. Karen
Yeah.
Page. Yeah, Karen's everywhere. She's at an auction where
Yep, and
she
she goes and
goes and
talks to
watches.
what's his name first. He's like,
Yeah,
"Back
yeah.
off, dude."
Yeah. She talks to Ben Urich, tries to get him to
What
investigate
a
work
great
with her, and
character.
he's like, no, I'm not
Yeah.
feeling it.
Well, all he says is, "Back off. You need to back
Right,
off."
right. You need to check yourself before
That's
you wreck
right.
yourself.
And she thinks
Right.
what he's saying is, "This isn't a story," when really
Yeah.
he's just saying, "You need to back off." So she goes to this auction where she knows that all the office equipment from her construction company is.
Union. Yeah. Union. Well, no, Union Allied stuff's
Oh,
being
okay.
sold there too.
So she goes there
Yeah.
to see if it's being sold, if there's some sort of clue, or to see who's buying it or whatever.
Right.
And
Right.
he shows up and he's like, do you notice there's other people not bidding on this? This
Mm-hmm.
guy, this chick.
No, don't
Right.
look over. Don't
Right.
look.
And
Yeah.
so what you might want to do
You
is
might.
bid on something and win something and then leave.
Right. So you don't get singled
Right.
out.
And then
Yeah.
meet me at the diner.
Wink,
Right.
wink, nudge, nudge,
And
say no more.
this was a very interesting little convergence too,
Exchange.
because
Yeah.
at the beginning of the episode, uh, Murdoch and his pal were talking about, getting office equipment. And it just so happens that she bought office equipment and she charged it to the law firm,
Right.
and he was all like okay with it because he wanted office equipment.
Right. See, yeah, Foggy was all like, okay, we finally have
Right.
office equipment. But to Karen's credit, though, Karen
Right.
Page's credit, um, she's was thinking that, okay, I can use that settlement money that Union Allied was
Right.
offering me. So I could use that to pay for
Right.
the
But
office
Foggy's
equipment.
okay with it.
Yeah, he doesn't
Right.
even care where she's getting
Right.
the money from.
He's just like, oh,
He's all
good.
just about like,
I'm okay with this.
yeah,
So she won't have to
which
use
is
the
kind of
settlement money, most likely.
which is kind of a guy thing. It's like, oh yeah, I don't care where you got it. I just
Yeah.
want to like, I'm
Gadgets.
cool. I'm happy you got it. I've got a fax
Right.
machine.
Do they even use fax machines anymore? Yeah, Matt was not really
Yeah,
into the fax
yeah,
machines.
right. Well,
But he
it's
just
yeah,
wanted an office. So that's
right.
cool. And then he starts to tell her the story that he told Matt in the
Yeah,
beginning, that he wanted a fax, a fax machine or an office or whatever. And I thought that was
right.
kind of touching. But
It was
anyway,
cool.
Karen does meet with the reporter guy again.
Yeah, yeah. They meet at a diner, and but this time she managed to convince him to let her join his investigation into Union Allied and whatever miscellaneous nefarious criminal activities may be related.
Under his conditions of they
Yes.
only meet in the diner and she signs the
Uh-huh.
NDA because
Right.
even if she can't talk about it, he can. And
Right.
that way they won't suspect anything is happening.
Which I got to think that even now that she bought all that office equipment, she was going to sign the
Right.
NDA anyway.
So,
So, yeah,
because she was going to use the settlement.
because she had to
Right.
pay for all that stuff. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
now we've got this
Uh,
setup where he's going to
right.
be investigating it. There's a load off her mind
Right.
now about
Right.
that it's going to get looked into. And
Yes.
that's going to be some danger, though.
Yeah. But I will say that that doesn't quite get off her mind.
Stop
There's,
it.
she doesn't quite, spoilers, she doesn't let it go.
Let it go.
That's
Let
all
it go.
that's all. I was waiting for
I
that.
love that movie.
I was waiting for that. I've never
Oh,
seen
you
that
should see
movie,
it. It's good.
but I've heard about it everywhere, so I don't think I have to see
Yeah,
it
you do.
now.
It's really nice.
Okay.
I like it.
Okay. All right. At the Venice taxi garage,
Why would they take
Russians are like,
her to the garage?
I don't,
Why?
stupid Russians.
If there's
What are you
any
doing?
tie that he could
Yeah,
trace,
yeah,
why would
exactly.
they take her there?
We will take you back to our
Where we can
headquarters
be traced.
and where we can be traced.
Whatever.
So yeah, so they torture
Right there in the
Claire,
middle of an open garage.
trying to get not yet Daredevil's
And
name.
that's a brutal scene.
Uh, yeah, because Daredevil, not yet Daredevil, shows up
Pre-Daredevil, Daredevil.
and pre-Daredevil shows up and switches the lights off because
He doesn't
hey,
need him.
don't need to worry about.
Right.
I don't need it. So what better way to disorient give you guys a
Right.
disadvantage and me an advantage? So I'm gonna switch the lights off and take out all you
Mm-hmm.
guys one by one. Freeze Claire. So that's good. Um, One of the Russians, though, after they get their ass kicked, decides to go and interrupt the Kingpin's date at the restaurant, which does not go over well with the
Not a
Kingpin.
good
He is
idea.
not happy. But yeah, it's
No.
not a good idea. Vanessa's like, like she's gets a little taste of what he's really all about. She's not sure about their future
Right.
together, but she kind of leaves things
Right.
open. So she doesn't just completely like, because he does give her the chance. He's like, look, tell me if this is it, and I will leave you alone.
Right.
To his credit, he does that. He gives
Right.
her the out. She does leave things
Yes.
open, though.
And she
She
says, I
doesn't
don't know
close it
how I
off.
feel.
Right. So she just needs a
Mm-hmm.
little time, but she's still obviously interested
She
in
is.
him.
And
He's got
no,
charisma.
he's got monies, is what he's got.
Well, there's that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
And power.
Monies.
Power. Yeah.
She knows how much
Okay.
monies he's got.
Yeah. Claire patches up Matt's wounds, asks him if he's got a end game. You got a plan for this, son? And He's like, look over there. Look at the shiny object on
Yeah.
the window there. Yeah, I don't have a plan. I don't have a plan. I just want to make my city
Yeah.
a better
And he
place.
helps to patch her up too.
Yeah. And at this point, though, he finally admits his
And
real
he
name to her.
gives her a little bit of his background too.
Right. So she's really the first person he tells
Yep.
that he's really
Yep.
pre-Daredevil.
That his dad
Yeah.
was a boxer, that his name is Matt,
Right. Yep.
and that he's this man in black. So she knows more about him than anyone else at this point. Essentially, more
Right.
pieces of this puzzle than anyone else.
Pretty much. And lastly, we get this very spectacular scene where Anatoly, the Russian who interrupted his date from before, he's been like kind of like on ice sitting in the car with Wesley. Wesley looks at him as like, dude, that was really not a smart move interrupting
Yeah,
the
but he's so
Kingpin's date.
cool, calm, and collected, and I just knew something was coming.
Yeah, right. So what happens, of course, the Kingpin comes over,
But
yanks
wait,
Anatoly out
I
of the
thought for
car.
sure
What?
this was going to be like okay, someone's going to drag you out of the car, shoot you, and toss you into the river. I thought this is
Right.
what.
But
Oh
that's not the
no.
case here.
Okay, go
No,
ahead.
no, no,
So
no, 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 no.
Wesley,
That's right.
the phone rings. Wesley picks it up. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ring, ring.
Passenger side. Click. Hangs up the phone. Then the door opens.
Yep.
And Anatoly gets dragged
Yep.
out by.
Wilson
Right.
Fisk,
And
the
then
Kingpin.
go for it.
And yeah, basically, Wilson just lays into Anatoly, beats the holy hell out of him. Boom, 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 boom. Takes him like he's at this point. I don't know if he's alive or dead.
I don't know when that line was
But
crossed, to be honest.
exactly, because what happens next is what's fantastic is that he takes Anatoly, opens up the car door, and just smashes his head repeatedly with the car door. Boom, boom,
He
boom, until he's like a
owns
bloody
this
pulp.
guy. Owns him.
Just totally
And it,
destroys him.
way after he's dead, and he's shutting his head in the
Right.
door. His body just drops
Yep.
limp. His head is half inside the door, inside the car.
Yep.
And I love, there's blood just pouring out
Yep.
of the car.
Right.
There's blood all over Fisk. And
Right.
he turns to Wesley. Wesley hands him like a handkerchief, and he wipes
Dab,
his
dab,
face.
dab, dab,
right?
dab, dab. Yeah.
And then
he needed Liv to come by and go like with lick her finger and go. No, let me fix
yeah,
it
good
up.
callback there. And he goes, I
Thank
need
you.
a new suit, right? So he
Right.
needs a new suit. And then
Yeah.
Wesley goes, so what about the
Yeah.
car? He's just like, whatever,
Yeah.
take care of it.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
send
Now, this is
Anatoly's body back to his brother.
Yeah, because we find out that, oh yeah, Wilson Fisk wants to start a gang war,
Mm-hmm.
and this might set
Yeah.
it off.
So he sends his body back to Vlad.
So yeah,
Vladimir.
what's left of it.
Yeah, what's left of it.
But we get this scene is so important because we get to the first real understanding of the monster that
Yeah.
the Kingpin is.
That was
Um,
effing brutal.
it's just
that scene.
I mean, he tries to be this calm, like very, soft-spoken guy at first. He's going to art galleries. He's trying to woo Vanessa. Um, he seems a little odd, maybe a little unsure of himself. He seems a little not confident, like he hasn't found himself yet. But here it's just completely the switch is flipped, and he's just a
Right.
raging monster.
Now, here's something interesting though. Matt kills more
Yeah.
people in this episode than Fisk.
Does he kill them? I don't think he kills them. I think he just beats them up. I think he beats them up
Okay.
because they get up from being knocked out. I
Do you
don't think he
think?
kills anybody. Yeah,
There's
yes,
gunfire.
because I've watched the 12 episodes. There's a scene where he talks with
Okay.
the priest.
So he doesn't
about,
kill any of them. Okay.
No, he doesn't kill them.
All right.
They're not
So the
dead.
gunfire's all on the Russians' part.
The closest guy
the
he's
guy he
come to
dropped
killing
off.
was the guy he tortured.
Okay.
That he dropped off
And
the roof.
the Russians ended
in
up killing
episode
him with the epinephrine.
Yes. Yeah. Well, after
Right.
they got the info, they probably killed him. We didn't
No, but
see
he's
them
dead.
kill him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's probably dead. So, but Matt didn't kill him.
Right.
He just beat him up
He was in a
pretty
coma.
badly. Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
all right, I'm better now.
So what do you
I gave
give
this one 8 auction paddles.
Right. I gave this one 8.5 out of 10 prison shivs made
Mm.
from a rib cage. Snap,
Mm.
snap. Here, have a shiv.
Damn. This was the goriest episode yet
Yeah,
out of the 4
yeah,
I've seen. Is there more?
right,
Is there a
right.
gorier one? I'm
I can't
okay
think of a
with it
gorier
either
episode.
way, but
I mean, there are some scenes I'm not really spoiling much, but Matt gets the crap kicked out of him
okay,
pretty badly. But I think this is kind
okay.
of the worst of it.
Honestly, it doesn't bother me any.
Yeah, there are people getting shot.
I mean, I
But
make cringy faces,
yeah,
but it doesn't. I watch it and I'm like, oh
I can,
yeah,
yeah. So as we reach the 2 hour
yeah.
mark,
Again, we warned you at the beginning. They're gonna get shorter
yeah, this
because
is
we're
pretty
at
bad.
the season end.
Yeah, we're finally going to drop some shows here in the
Yeah,
coming weeks.
and here, before
So all you poor people that have suffered with all these long,
yeah,
extra
well,
long
we're getting good
episodes.
feedback, so that's a good thing.
Yeah. Do we want to talk
Before
about
we
the
do the
feedback?
feedback, I want to tell you right now, we didn't do a episode 6.5 last week because our schedules just didn't
Right.
work out. I posted a lot of the spoilers anyway on our Facebook page. So what I'm going to do, because the timing is just wrong with getting the episodes out, I'm just going to post the spoilers on our Facebook page for you guys to go and look at.
Right.
And let's give our feedback info and our Facebook information. Twitter is at Fandom Zonecast, and Facebook is facebook.com/Fandom Zone Podcast. Our email is fandomzonecast@gmail.com. And you can find me at Alaveria, and there's a link there to my About Me page where you can find all of my links. And you are?
Yes. I am at Charles Skaggs on Twitter. You're getting a little smile on your face. I'm on the Instagram. I want that
I
want
know
that Avengers
you
comic. You keep talking.
I know you
Give me
do.
that.
I know.
Give me
it's so
that
nice,
comic.
isn't it? Look,
Give it to me.
I can even.
I want it. Oh, you're don't. Oh, you're taking. Oh,
Yeah,
oh, it's
it's in a
double
hard
bagged.
case.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you've got it bagged and boarded, and then you have a harder plastic outer
That's right.
shell. Interesting.
So it can't bend.
So that thing. Yeah.
See, because it's a
Right.
really nice comic book.
Right. Okay.
My Kiss
So
comic book is not in a hard one
right.
though. See,
I would understand that. I'm
this is
surprised
my
it's in a bag.
husband's
Let's put it that way.
comic book. That's why he's part of the Kiss army. Go ahead.
Shake your head. Instagram. Google Plus for all you crazy kids on the Google Plus. I'm on the Facebook. I'm on my blog of geeky things, damn good coffee and hot. And you can check me out there because we talk about all of the stuff there without taking up 2 hours of your time.
But we're interesting. Come on.
We try to be interesting, and we're getting some feedback, which is cool. We would love more. So go on iTunes, go on, talk to us on the Facebook, on Twitter, Machine. Let us know what you think, because we're actually generally interested in what you
Definitely.
guys have to think. If you don't like something, let us know. If you like something we're doing,
Yes.
tell us that
And if
too.
you're going to complain about the length, we totally understand. But we have to say,
right, there's a pause button.
There's that.
You could take a break, come back. You
and
can come
it is
back to
going
it
to
later.
get shorter as we taper down for the
These
summer.
are just right now. We have 6 episodes. Gotham ends next week, so we're going to be dropping down to 5, and then 4 and 3 and 2, and we're gonna at some point we're only going to have like iZombie and Daredevil to talk about for a while. So yeah, enjoy these extra length episodes or 80-page giants.
Oh, that's nice. Giant sized.
Thank you. Giant size.
That's right.
Fandom Zone
Giant sized
podcast.
if you're a DC fan, 80-page giants. Which one is it?
Either one. Well,
DC's 80-page giants. And giant.
And then
Okay.
Marvel's giant size. Because they was like, the big joke is giant size man thing.
Right. I remember that. Giant size Hulk.
Which is just hilarious.
Yeah.
Giant size man.
Nice.
No problem. You're welcome. All right. So I think you've had enough.
Yes, except we're going to read our feedback real quick right at the end. We got 2 iTunes feedback.
Okay, so you haven't had enough.
But these are easy. Quick.
Still gotta...
iTunes feedback from Jesse. Oddly enough, Um,
Jesse, would that be
it
Jesse
is
W.
Jesse W.
Jackson?
Jackson, and yes, he's
Yes. Of Next Stop Everywhere
he's a
fame.
bit of a ringer, but he gives us 5 stars,
Yeah.
and he says there are several podcasts dedicated to the various TV shows based on comic books. I enjoy the fact that Charles and Karen do their best to cover all of them. It is clear that they love TV and these genre shows. They have great chemistry, and it is fun to hear them banter back and forth. They are not afraid to point out issues with episodes, but do it with love in their heart. I know, I thought that was nice.
Aw. J- Jesse,
That's
your check's
right.
in the mail.
I'll give you $1. And then
Yeah.
I'll
I'd
write
buy
it
that
out
for
for
$1.
$1. um,
I had to go with
yeah,
cop reference. Okay.
someone whose name is Shadowgates, and I don't know whether we know him or not, or her.
Who who is not on the
As far
payroll
as
as
we
far as we
know,
know.
right? And Shadowgates
Right.
gives us 5 stars and says, "Great show
Woohoo!
covering all of my favorite comic-based shows. Hosts have wonderful banter and know their stuff on Source Comics for these shoes."
I think that might be
Yeah,
a
I
typo.
think it means shows, but I like shoes.
I think so. If you're into shoes or shows, either one, that's
Seriously, I
cool.
dig the shoes comment.
Yeah, and that's yeah. Okay, either
Shadowgate,
way, we're gold. Yeah,
I like it.
big ups. Thanks. Cheers for that.
I dig your typo. Leave it in. Don't change
Yeah,
it. Don't change
yeah,
a
it's a
thing.
good typo. So yeah, we need more of this, people. So yeah,
That's
help us
right.
out. All right. So is
That
that about do
does
it?
about do it.
And you're gonna post all the spoilery stuff
I
on the
am.
Facebook.
So look for
All
that,
right.
and we'll see you next time.
Bye, everyone.